Hi guys. Today I want to talk about my budgies. So I've been really focused so far on my Indian ringneck and my black Cape conure on this channel, and I want to bring a little bit more my budgies onto the channel. So I thought of talking about what I would do differently if I would start over. So before we go into what I would do differently, I'm just gonna briefly tell you how I got my budgies, so that we can understand where I'm coming from. So I first had Baby Blue. It was an impulse purchase in a pet store. I knew really literally nothing about budgies. I bought a cage at the pet store. I bought seeds. I even bought a mirror. Anyways, all plastic toys. Everything that was in there wasn't good. But because I'm a very passionate person usually, and I like to know things and to dig deep into things, I went into a rabbit hole on YouTube and Google and all social medias to find information about budgies. And I realized there was a lot of different ones. But then found actual really good sources and to educate myself on budgies. And I changed all the toys. I changed the diet. That was a long process. I changed the cage, the toys, the diet, the purchase. Anyways, made a lot of changes. But I haven't started yet any type of, well, I guess I did do a little bit of training, but it was really little. And then because it was from a pet store and he was so traumatized and so fearful that it was just really difficult to do anything with the very, very little knowledge that I had. Then my second budgie, Tit Fluff, came in as a gift. So about 2 months later, I went into a pet store to get some new toys. And then I saw this cute little budgie. I just thought it was the cutest little thing. A little bit of green, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of teal. She was a little bit of gray, a little bit of white. She was just the cutest. Very, very, very young. She still had her line on the top of her head. So I come back home and my partner at that time, I explained him oh, I saw such a cute little budgie, blah, 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 whatever. He's like, oh, you didn't get her? No, I have one. It's fine. I'm okay. And I want to say a few days before Christmas or something like that, I came from home and then I walk into the living room and she is in what used to be Baby Blue's cage, the first one. I was obviously surprised and happy because, she's just the cutest. And then, so that's a couple of months after having Baby Blue. So I was in the middle of all the transition, right? I changed a lot of things. He had a flight cage. Diet conversion was not completed. I was still actually studying and trying to figure out the best diet for him. And really, the training was pretty minimal because I had very little knowledge about it. So came to Fluff and I quarantined her. And then after the quarantine, I put her in the same cage as Baby Blue, and they actually bonded really, really quick. At that time, I did not know that it was a male and a female because they were so young. I had them, they were little babies, so I had no idea. And I found out really quick that Baby Blue was a male and Tit Fluff was a female. So there was another challenge. And I went into a rabbit hole of finding information and educating myself into how can I have two bonded budgies, male and female, in the same cage without having babies. So far, so good. I've been able to master this. but it's been very challenging to try to do any type of training with them because they're so bonded. I don't have any issue putting them in the cage because they are on a very good diet. So it's easy for me with spray millet to be able to just put them back in, really. I don't have an issue that way, but I would love to do target training and to recall and to teach them tricks. And I would love to have them to not fear my hands. They're still kind of fearing my hands. They will land on my hand, but they won't stay there unless I have spray millet to offer. So as soon as they're done with the spray millet, they're gone. They really don't care about me. That's the thing. So let's just watch before I go into what I would do differently. Now that I know what I know, let's just watch what a training session looks like.
Come on, baby, do it. Come on, baby, do.
That might not work.
Come on.
On this one, I was late on the clicker. And I was a little bit late on that one as well. You have to be really quick with budgies. They're much faster than medium parrots or small parrots.
He just goes for the millet.
Come on. Baby, come on.
Clearly doesn't understand the target. I think the fluff is better at it.
Come on.
And now they're separate, so okay, let's try to get this to come out. Okay, come on.
Sit fluff. Sit fluff. Come on. Sit fluff. Come on, baby.
They clearly just follow the millet. Come on. Good job.
Good job.
Come on. Good job.
Good job.
Okay, let's try with this.
Want to touch this? Good job.
Hey.
Good job. Touch this. Good job.
Then the Doodly doesn't learn anything because I feel like the fluff is smarter.
Good job.
He really got this thing.
Baby, go. Good job.
I'm gonna try with just a fluff. Let's see what happens.
Come. Sit down. Come on. Good job. Good job, baby.
Okay, let's try that. Let's try to do some target training with her.
Good job.
She's holding it.
Oh, come on. Come on, sit down. Good job. Come on, sit down. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Come here. Come here, baby. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on.
This is crazy. Let's try something else.
Come on. Good job.
Dude is losing his mind, so I'm just gonna let him out.
Come on. Good job. Come on. Good job. Oh, what did you do? You guys got scared of something or what? Come on. Come on, baby blue. Come on. Come on. Step up. Good job. This is crazy. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's not great. So the challenge is I don't have another room for them to be able to train them separately because I have cats. This may change in the future. Anyways, I have some project in mind that I might change some things in my setup in my home, but for now, I don't have an extra room to separate them. So what happens is that if I pull one from the cage and the other one stays there, it's very distracting for the other bird because the other one's freaking out, right? And then when I have both out at the same time, it's very difficult to teach them anything because they kind of like, Fluff learns faster than Baby Blue and she's more eager for training. So she overrides Baby Blue all the time. So I don't really get a chance to really progress with Baby Blue, if that makes sense. So that's mainly my challenge, is I'm really struggling to kind of have a bond or connection or some type of communication with them at this point. So my goal with this video is to share with you what I would be doing differently with the knowledge that I have now, and hopefully it can help you as well in the future. So let's do two types of scenarios. So let's do scenario A, exactly the same thing. So I get gifted a second budgie 2 months in. And then scenario B, you choose to get a second budgie or a second bird of the same species and to eventually put in the same cage if they actually get along. So if you're thinking of getting a second bird, scenario B would be for you what I would be doing. So scenario A, what I would do is I would keep my second budgie separated longer. So I think what's important is to be able to train both birds before putting them together so that you actually have a really good communication and bond, if you will, with your bird, with both of your birds before they get together and they bond together. So I would get that second big cage and I would keep them separated and I would work with them separated longer. So I would do the target training, the recall training with Baby Blue first, and I would make sure that we master this and that the diet is mastered as well. And then I would do the same thing with Fluff. And then once I'm able to have great communication and I'm at a level where I feel pretty comfortable to be able to continue that training afterwards, then I would try to put them together. So the first step would be train them separately. They're not bonded at this point. So for me, I don't think it would really matter to have them, to train one in the same room as the other one while the other one is in the cage. Right now, I think they're really freaking out when I do this because they're always together. One flies on one perch, the other one follows. And so when they're outside, it's the same thing. You'll see like they always kind of follow each other. So that's why it's so difficult to separate them for training. And then the second step would be to have them outside of the cages, spend some time outside of the cages together, to see how it's going and if they're bonding. Because when you add a second bird, it doesn't mean necessarily that they're gonna get along, even if they're the same species, like for example, two budgies. So you test that, and then once they're comfortable together outside of the cage, then you can try to put them in together in the same cage. So this is what I would do if I would be in the same situation now that I know what I know. Now, let's say scenario B, I'm thinking of getting a second bird to, well, not match, but when I'm talking about adding a second bird, I'm not talking like my Indian redneck and my black Cape Conure that are in separate cages that I will never put together, right? I'm thinking of getting a second bird in the idea of putting them together in the same cage. So what I would be doing, again, I would make sure that the diet is on point, and we're able to train, and we have that good relationship. So target training, recall training, maybe some tricks, really get the basics, and then purchase the second bird. And then that second bird, do the same thing, the diet conversion, the training, all of that, while I'm still giving attention to the first bird, right? Because you don't really want to create some kind of jealousy in there. If you're able to actually keep them in separate rooms, I think that's even better. But if you can't, then you just have to work with what you got, right? But yeah, definitely I would make sure before adding that second bird, that connection, that communication, that training that you have with your first one is really well established and under control. Once this is done, then you add the second one. You do the same with this one, and the same principle applies. You slowly introduce them to one another, outside time, chilling time, just being together. And once they're comfortable, then you can move those two together in a cage. So if I would be going back in time, enter that living room and seeing Tid Fluff in that small cage, I would have done things really differently knowing what I know now. I would have totally trained Baby Blue first and trained Tid Fluff, and then put them together in the same cage. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you want to know more, then just subscribe and you'll be seeing all the future development with my budgies, because I think I'm going to put a little bit more about them on the channel. So